This is NIM 2015, and I have the honor of talking to Mr. Aleks Habdank, Chief Operating Officer for Pay TV Emerging Markets, MTG. Welcome to NIM, welcome to Dubrovnik.
Thank you, it's been a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here, of course, and I have to start by asking you your panel. It's called Will Second Screen Always Play a Second Fiddle? Will it?
Well, this is the question. I mean, the panel title for me was always a bit of an anomaly because if it's the second screen, then it's always second. When it becomes first, then it's the first.
It's the first.
I think the better question is, when will the screens swap? When does the usage that's being generated on what today is considered the second screen overtake what is now considered the first screen? When that tipping point will be, what are the things that are going to influence that and bring that into reality?
Can you even speculate? Is that going to happen in the next 5 years or in the next 15 years? Or is that more of a local question? Because I think that the situation is not the same concerning the second screen in Croatia or in the UK.
I'm not sure. I mean, to answer your first part of the question, how long it's going to take, there are a couple of factors that are going to influence it. I think the proliferation of fast broadband is one, and actually, contrary to what some of my colleagues on the panel as well as audience were saying, I think in Central and Eastern Europe, in Croatia, I think broadband speeds are much faster relative to the rest of the world than you might think. So I used to work for Virgin Media for many years, running their TV business, and we thought we had the fastest broadband. But actually, we had 100 meg. That's not terribly fast. I come here to Central Eastern Europe, 100 is pretty normal, 200, 300, 400. So actually that, I think, is already in place. Secondly, it's the penetration of connected devices. And again, I think I don't see much difference in this region than what you have in the UK. And then thirdly, the technology to allow customers to discover, find and engage with content. Well, I think that's the same wherever you go. So I wouldn't say there's a huge difference in terms of region. But in terms of a time, the other thing that's, I think, going to play a part is the platforms themselves. The platforms who have invested a lot of money in set-top boxes, in CPE equipment, consumer premises equipment, they're going to want to continue sweating that asset because it's still on the balance sheet, it needs to generate a return. And it's only when there will be enough connected devices around that there will be this sort of tipping point, this inflection point where operators will decide, actually, we can now jump into a set-top box free world. And then at that point, I think the floodgates will open. And it'll also be a real game changer for these businesses.
What about you personally? When you come home, do you like big screen or?
I do both, actually.
At the same time?
No, I don't. I'm a one-screen sort of guy.
You like to concentrate on one thing that you're doing.
But it's interesting. I mean, I just quite late in a way, signed up to Netflix, and whereas previously I would say, this whole point of putting a whole series on, it's strange because you can't give people a reason to continue. You're not giving people a reason to continue to subscribe. You're giving them everything at once, and then people binge. And that's exactly what I did, and I loved it. And now I'm not going to leave because I want to do that more and more and more.
Right.
I suppose I do a mix of on the tablet predominantly and on the big screen, just whichever's more convenient. And I think someone on the panel made a very good point, in a way, is that the first screen is the one that you're watching at the given time.
Right.
So there's no sort of predetermined answer to the question.
Thank you very much.